and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her.
Twitch representatives last night were out partying.
She's speaking about Dan Clancy himself, by the way.
All right, guys, it's going to be a pretty short video really because I just want to break down Dan Clancy's response. I don't want to milk this entire situation, but it was the most baffling thing I've ever seen in my entire life that just had to talk about it. In all reality, once you see what he said, him actually saying nothing and ignoring SA would have been a better response than what you're about to witness.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, emiru, get assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there, okay?
So right off the bat, instantly deflecting from taking any sort of blame. He doesn't even take an inkling of accountability. The reality of the situation is your Twitch staff messed up, and you're telling me to my face that this is an issue that everywhere is faced online? Yes, obviously that is a case. That's a problem with anybody who has any type of clout, any type of fame, anybody that's well known. They're gonna have creeps, they're gonna have weirdos, they're gonna have people like this doing these weird things. But let's talk about your platform in specific and what you're going to do moving forward and how you're going to do things, along with the fact that he does end up talking about his platform, but he doesn't put it on him, anybody else. He puts it on the creator. It's the creator's fault because apparently they can ban and curate their own community. So if there's a creep in there, just ban them. What about the creeps that lurk and don't type anything? What about the creeps that are just going to get banned and make a new account? All of those people, I guess, just don't exist in his eyes because he's a prime A deflector and a prime A victim blamer.
It's very different, you know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff. Well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
I want y'all to be aware, all of these platforms have the exact same tools. TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. As a YouTuber myself, yes, I'm able to ban people. I'm able to remove people's comments. Still gonna be able to see my videos, but you won't be able to see their comments. They won't be able to have an opinion, and they'll basically be away in his eyes, but that doesn't really stop anything. Just like if you were a TikToker, you truly wanted to ban and block a lot of comments, people saying rude things, people being creepy about you, that's not really stopping anything. Same thing on Twitch. If I just ban somebody, there's still this new thing called making a new account. There's still this thing called being a weird stalker, going on other platforms to track and look at this person. Even if we specifically just stay on Twitch in this scenario and we try to build to make sure there are no creeps in the community, he does understand that there are different types of weird people. There are weird people that portray themselves as a nice person in order to get close and in order to do weird stuff. Like, there's just so much wrong was being said. I cannot fully even like tear into it because this video would be an hour long. Just know he's a complete idiot and a bumbling buffoon for basically pointing the finger at you, the creator, who has to deal with weird stalkers and saying it's your fault because you should have just clicked the ban button, as if that's not something that a lot of people do. You don't have to be the biggest streamer that people banned who are weirdos. It's beyond dumb. On the fact that he is talking about he deeply cares about emiru and is worried about her safety and is looking closely to make sure that everything goes right. That is a blatant lie. I mean, if you've seen how the situation has been handled at all, and if you haven't heard everything that there is to be said about it, I definitely would recommend watching her video recounting the situation. It's beyond sad and just a full mess on how Twitch's part treats everything. But Dan Clancy in specific, calling out the fact that he is her friend, he deeply cares about her. Yet we have clips like the one I showed at the beginning of Asmongold and emiru, not actually saying a name, but Asmon saying a name, talking about this man was out partying when trying to deal with the aftermath of someone being SA'd at his event.
The head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch.
Wow. Yep, that was who. I was gonna leak it to my friend, but I guess I don't have to now.
Later the same night, I'm not gonna drop names here because I wasn't there, so I didn't.
That's who they were.
But I had multiple people tell me that key
Yep.
Twitch representatives last night were out partying.
She's speaking about Dan Clancy himself,
Okay.
by the way. Was out partying at an influencer event
Also
while this
another
was
detail,
happening.
Sorry, my
I'm just gonna assume it's a prerequisite to be a part of Twitch staff that you have to be a chronic liar. From Dan Clancy to their post that they made on Twitter, at no point in time could anyone tell a cohesive story or even tell a true story, yet wants to look at you and tell you that they are going to be the ones to keep you safe.
Demi had posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even like journalists have had struggled. Like, you know, it is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, you know, issues like this have happened?
Well, I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, you know, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any, you know, specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, you know, trying to find them. Right now, we're definitely, you know, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right for them.
Again, I just want to say this. I was not at TwitchCon this year. I don't know if it was pretty obvious by the fact that I've been uploading videos in the same room every day, but I wasn't there. So technically, I don't know what it's like to actually have to go through these safety measures or to have anything happen, but I feel like it's still a lie. After this incident happened, in this same convention, after that incident, I can pull up a clip of somebody straight up bypassing a security checkpoint because the staff there just doesn't care.
Thank you.
Wait, right?
Yeah. We'll just scan in, and then we're meeting him up front.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did it work? Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just walk past.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm not going to talk about the security from an event I wasn't at. I don't have personal accounts. I can only go based off of clips. I guess clips can be deceiving, but there were more clips just like that with people bypassing security checkpoints. There are clips of people being able to walk up to the meet and greet line by going through a whole back entrance that was caught on live stream multiple times. So to tell me that you care about security after this entire situation and after hearing from Emery's side that you basically were not going to do anything about this and only decided to beef up security after this got a lot of attention, I'm not believing that for a second. And the fact that you also are victim blaming in the first half of this entire speech really doesn't convince me, because you won't even take accountability on yourself, or as Twitch as a company, a platform, a con. No accountability was taken. The only fingers that were pointed at was at you, the person actually going to the convention who cares about your safety, you, the creator going to the convention that cares about your safety. And at no point in time did we reflect and see how they could have done better. Just talking about how the security is top notch. It was just a horrible response, and genuinely, him saying nothing is better than anything that he said here. But at the end of the day, that is just how I feel. If you want to tell me how you feel, the best place to do would be the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider giving a like. And if you enjoy content like this, then maybe consider subscribing, because I post like this every single week. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.